Sairam devotees, welcome to Lange Sai Center's online Satsangh. Many of us are here today because we love ourselves enough to want to achieve our highest potential, to realize that we are God. Baba has given us one such method to help in this realization, and that is the below affirmation. I am God. I am God. I am no different from God. I am the eternal, undifferentiated Absolute. Grief and anxiety cannot affect me. I am always content. Fear cannot enter me. I am Satchitananda. I am pure existence, awareness, and bliss. I am omnipotent. I am all-powerful. Nothing is impossible for me. I am omniscient. I am all-knowing. There is nothing which is not known to me. I am omnipresent. I am present everywhere. I pervade this universe. I am Krishna. I am Buddha. I am Jesus. I am Sai. I am Sai. I am Sai. I am God. I am God. I am God. Before we begin our satsang, let us also set our intention for today's satsang and for life. I intend to realize that I am God, that we are all God. Let us now begin with our opening prayer.
podcast segment. Janardana Nandalala Govinda Gopala Janardana Nandalala Govinda Gopala Janardana Nandalala Govinda Gopala Janardana
Namaste and Sai Ram. I'm offering this short video as a small gift to our beloved brother Srishti on the occasion of his birthday. When asked what he would like, he said, "Can you speak a few words on how we as devotees of Sai Baba can make our lives his message?" So allow me to share a few thoughts. My name is Sunder Iyer. I am the founder of Kaivalya Yoga Gurukulam, where I teach yoga, Vedanta, spirituality as a means of sanctifying one's life. I have been in the Sai fold for a little over 4 decades now. And I was introduced to him when I was very young, in my late teens. I stayed with him for 15 years, watching this wonderful master not simply preach the means of sanctifying one's life or the means of achieving self-realization, of self-actualization, but actually being a role model a proof of concept, if you will, for us youngsters. And that was all I needed for me to find a direction in my life, a motivation in my life, a foundation, a home to go to when I needed to, a home in my inner space that provided me not just succor and consoled me at the times of my difficult periods, but provided me light and guidance. And in that home of mine, in the inner space of mine, I have installed the name and the form of my beloved Guru, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. He guides me from within. And these few words that I'm going to offer today is no doubt guided by this divine teacher. I'll try and make it very simple, sharing with you 3 words or concepts or ideas, if you will, that will help us understand how we can make our lives His message, how we can reflect the teachings of Sai, how we can reflect the teachings of Sai not for His sake, but for our own sake, to enrich our lives, to empower our lives, to sanctify our lives, to make our lives more meaningful. Most of us live our lives just without even questioning. We are at an age when we say, oh, we want to watch a movie for relaxation. We want to eat food, and we reward ourselves with entertainment and music and food and sleep. We rarely reward ourselves with a session in meditation, a session in kirtans and namasmarana, a session in contemplation on higher energies, higher dimensions. Rarely do we take time off to explore or read or meditate upon what is it that really matters in life. Or are we convinced in just going with it just because everybody else is doing it? Everybody gets a job, so I need to get a job. Everybody is rich, so I also need to make money and become rich. Everybody has got these gadgets, I also need to get these gadgets, and there's this ceaseless, endless, and oftentimes meaningless acquisition of properties and assets and wealth, all for I, me, and mine, becomes the dominant objective of one's life. What is the quality of your life? Just because you go to temples or offer a few pujas or rituals a few times a week, does that make you better? If so, in what way? Do you feel more empowered? Do you feel more enriched? Do you feel more peaceful in your heart? Is the question you need to ask yourself. Have you tapped into that source within you that is unending in its capacity to give? Have you tapped the goddess of wealth and abundance within you? Have you tapped the goddess of wisdom and learning within you? Have you tapped the goddess of awakening, self-realization and oneness with Shiva consciousness within you? If not, then why not try that? Why not explore that? To me, Baba's essence was to help us realize our own divinity. While we are very busy labeling him as God or avatar, or whether he's the next one, who's going to come after him, who came before him, and so on, and become self-imposed scholars and philosophers of this idea of God and avatars, we can do that. While we are doing that, let us take a few minutes every day to explore that all that we are seeking out there, all the mysteries of gods and avatars that we are seeking, the meaning of deeper philosophies that we are seeking out there is actually within us. That to me is the essence of Sai's teachings. And when you begin to explore a little bit of yourself, you begin to see the true divinity that Sai was. And then your thoughts, your words, and your actions, everyday actions, everyday thoughts, and when you're alone, the quality of your life, your emotions will be different. And you will become the messenger of Sai, the messenger of Christ, the messenger of love, the messenger of every master, every avatar, every incarnation that walked the earth, because all of them taught just one thing: divinity is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. And therefore, in order to come to this place within you, I have 3 concepts to share. Allow me. The first one, as I learned from Baba, is the concept of selflessness. Almost everything that we do today is driven by I, me, and mine. And if that is the basis, then we get nowhere. We are caught in a vortex. Even the so-called quote-unquote selfless seva projects and the service projects that we do is all about I, me, and mine. I am doing so much. Why am I not getting recognized? We are doing this. Why are we not getting recognized? We are not getting support, or we are getting support, and whatever it is. People should know what we are doing, and so on and so forth. Selflessness to me is one of the most empowering means of living a life, whatever life it is. If you want to live a more empowered life, a more enriched life, a life where you begin to tap the source of abundance within you, learn to live selflessly. Take the I out of your dictionary. Take the I out of your thoughts. Take the mind out of your emotions. Don't ask, what am I getting out of this? Ask, what can I give? Let giving become the priority. Let excellence in your actions be the one that drives you to do better. Let the cause be more important than the person who is running for the cause. Let the message be more important than the messenger. When you remove the I out of the equation and look into life which is constantly giving you opportunities to expand your abilities, your excellence, your capability. These are opportunities, not difficulties or challenges. I like to see every day as an opportunity where I can bring excellence into my life. And I focus on excellence. Excellence is what drives me, not the I. And in excellence, you're more focused on what can I give than what can I get out of it. So think about excellence. Think about selflessness. Selflessness is an easy word to pronounce, I guess, but a very difficult concept to practice. Because in today's world, we are educated, we entertain this idea of I, me, and mine so much more. And therefore, it is not an easy one. I wish it was, but it was not. The greatest example of selflessness was Jesus Christ. He was beaten, lashed, and crucified. He had every power in him to escape from that ordeal, from that humiliation, from that apparent defeat, because his disciples and his close and near and dear ones expected him to declare himself as the Son of Man. And to the shock of everyone around him, it went exactly in the opposite direction, apparently. At that point, it was the selflessness that brought out the Christ in Jesus. You and I are nowhere near that kind of humiliation or crucifixion or any kind of ordeal in our lives. And if we think we are, then think of the saints, the avatars, who went through these ordeals without even batting their eyelids. Because it was not the little self that they cared about so much. It was the larger self, where that self embraced everyone and everything in this aura of oneness. Today, in the name of oneness and unity, we break apart families, we break apart institutions, we break apart everything that great masters, great incarnations have set about in the name of unity, in the name of improving stuff, in the name of becoming messengers. That, to me, is not selflessness. The self drives you there. Think about selflessness. Contemplate about selflessness. And know that when you stop worrying about your little self and you surrender your little self and all the wants that little self needs to the higher self, the Shiva within, the Christ within, the Buddha within, the Allah within, then everything else is taken care of. You will not be worried about success and defeat and how popular you are or your actions are or your institutions get, how many members. None of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is the quality of selflessness that opens the gates of heaven, the kingdom of heaven that is within us. Write down what selflessness means to you. Don't assume, and challenge that understanding. Turn that understanding into a means that can empower you. When you're selfless, the higher self takes over. And the higher self is none other than the God within. I saw that in Sai's life. With no education, being raised in a village, this young boy turned out to be the Loka Guru, the Jagat Guru, the Guru of the world. Not just being popular, but influencing the hearts and minds and the souls of millions of people. Because he was selfless. And therefore it is, if we want to be messengers of Sai, the first and the foremost thing is selflessness. And the second is love. You might say, how can I love somebody who's not nice to me? And that's the whole point of love. Jesus said it is easy to love somebody who is loving to you. Everybody does that. Can you love somebody who criticizes you? Can you love yourself? Those of us who jump to criticism, who without any remorse criticize people around us for whatever reason, and they justify that criticism, that kind of attitude comes from the lack of self-love. And this might appear contradictory to the concept of selflessness that we just spoke. When you first learn to love yourself, it is not the little self that you will fall in love with. That is not love, that is attachment. Attachment to the ego is not self-love. That kind of attachment to the ego, that kind of protection that, oh my gosh, I got insulted, I need to get back to this concept, all of that comes from insecurity, fear. Remember that whenever you hear words of division, lack of unity, know that there is no place for love. Walk away from that. Find love in your heart first. Fall in love with your higher self, the Shiva within. Call upon that higher self with love. That is devotion. That will reflect itself as equanimity, as peace. Nothing else. Just your singing kirtans once or twice a week is not love and devotion. It could be understood as a good time pass. Because at the end of these sessions of bhajans and kirtans, people end up doing the same kind of gossip, eating the same junk food and going home. So where is the transformation? I scratch my head. I ask myself these questions. And I have learned to gently refrain from all those kind of associations and gatherings, because for me what matters is transformation. Not social indulgences, which keep me trapped in that same concept of he and she versus me and mine. So first learn to love yourself. Write the meaning of love in your dictionary, in your heart, in your book, in your journal. Ask if you can implement that in your everyday life. Challenge that concept, explore that concept deeply, and ask yourself, to what extent can I go practicing this love? And you will see how soon we stop and say, oh, but I have to be practical. I have to think of myself. I can't cross this limit. Then you think of Sai. Then you think of Jesus and all the great masters who had no boundaries for their love, who had no conditions for that love. Unconditional love is easy to preach, easy to talk about, perhaps easy to contemplate upon, but almost impossible to practice. Because when you begin to practice unconditional love, where there is no conditions based on your love, where you love somebody and yourself simply because it is your nature to love. It does not matter whether that person across the table doesn't love you back or criticize you back or hates you. It doesn't matter. What matters is, what is your nature? If your nature is to love, then love. If your nature is to gossip, then gossip, but don't do it under the name of love. Don't break apart families in the name of love. Don't misuse the teachings of Sai in the name of love. Because where there is love, there is Sai. Where there is unity, there is Sai. Where there is selflessness, there is Sai. And the third word that I want to share with you is gratitude. We spend our lives wanting more and more and more. And it is good, I guess, to want more. That's what we are taught. From my point, I would say it is not bad to want more. But you will not get more unless you thank for what you already have. Until you're grateful for what you already have. Very rarely do we take time to be thankful, to express heartfelt gratitude for the things, for the people, for the lifestyle that is with us at this moment. How many times have you got up with the very first thing as you get up from the bed? How many times have you first closed your eyes and thanked for yet another day? thanked for the sun rise, and thanked for the breath that flows in your body? How many times as you work out in the gym, if you do, have you looked into the mirror and thanked for that body that you have been blessed with? How many times with food in front of your plate have you first felt a heartfelt sense of gratitude? And I'm not talking of thank you by words. I'm not talking of thank you by way of mantras and ritual chantings. Does your heart feel it with gratitude? What are you grateful for in life? Write it down. Look for reasons to thank. Every day and many times during a day, look for reasons that you can be thankful for. Develop the attitude of gratitude and watch the universe pour its abundance through you. Not to you, through you. What is it that you and I are going to possess in this life? What is it that you and I are going to take away from this life? Not even a penny that you earn or I earn can be taken with us. Think of your near and dear ones that are not with you anymore. What did they take with them? Not even the body that they inhabited. It was either buried or cremated. So ask yourself, what is it that I'm going to take? What you take is the quality of life that you led. And if that quality of life is in tune with the divine commandments of selflessness, unconditional love, and gratitude, my dear young brothers and sisters, you will face any turmoil in life. And if life comes to an end, then you will open your heart and welcome the kingdom of heaven. This is what it is all about. Enrich your life. Empower your life. Show that God has influenced your life. Sai Baba has influenced your life. Show that in your thoughts, in your words, and in your deeds. It does not matter how you claim Him or what you believe in Him. It does not matter. None of that matters. What matters is what you believe about yourself. What are the values that you practice? That is more important than anything else. Faith and belief should empower you. Selflessness, love, and gratitude should enrich you. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, may this short message open your hearts and minds to values that matter to you the most. To me, these three words represent the great truths and the pillars with which I find my link with Sai maintained. And I hope you find these or similar values in your own heart, and thus begin to reflect those values in your everyday life. Thank you for watching. Namaste.
May your love we're sharing spread its wings, fly across the earth and bring your joy to every soul that is alive. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu, Bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be
Gurukulam devotees, we have now come to the end of another beautiful online satsang. I thank you for joining with us as we help each other along our spiritual journeys back to Godhead. Until we meet again, I encourage you all to live in love. Make decisions based on love, and allow your divine light to shine and inspire all those around you. Sai Ram.